11,000 people are sleeping in their cars and RVs in Los Angeles tonight. Many of them have jobs, many had homes. A parking lot with a 40% housing exit rate already exists, and the city's wealthiest neighborhoods are actively fighting to keep it out. This is not a housing crisis, this is a choice. Welcome to Homeless in America. Los Angeles is a city built on reinvention, the place where anyone can begin again, where the Pacific light makes even the hardest failure look like the start of something new. But tonight, more than 72,000 people are homeless across LA County, and the fastest growing group among them is not in shelters or on sidewalks. They are sleeping in cars, in vans, in aging RVs parked on residential streets, engines off, curtains drawn, moving before sunrise to avoid a ticket or a tow that could cost them everything. Today we investigate something this city already possesses: a safe parking program with a proven 40% housing exit rate, and the structural resistance that keeps it from reaching the 11,000 people sleeping in their vehicles every single night in the dark right now. If these stories move you, subscribe now. Part 1: Context and Crisis. The story of vehicular homelessness in Los Angeles does not begin in a van. It begins in Koreatown, in West Adams. In Westlake, the neighborhoods where working people have lived for generations, where rents that once absorbed on a single paycheck now demand 2 incomes, 3 roommates, or a kind of luck that most people cannot manufacture. LA County needs more than 485,000 affordable housing units to meet existing demand. That is not a projection. That is the documented gap between who lives in this city and what this city has actually built for them. In the 2025 official homeless count, LA County recorded over 72,000 people experiencing homelessness, a 4% decline from the prior year. But those numbers carry a warning. A Rand Corporation study found the official count may have missed as many as 32% of homeless individuals in the highest need neighborhoods. The places where homelessness is most concentrated are the very places where the count falls shortest. The true scale of this crisis is almost certainly larger than any headline admits. Within that count, more than 6,600 cars, vans, and RVs were recorded as active shelters. Applying survey multipliers, that translates to roughly 11,000 people for whom a vehicle is not transportation but home. A bedroom, a closet, a mailing address if they are lucky enough to hold one. A car is the last wall between a person and the pavement. Every ticket, every tow, every enforcement cycle removes another brick from that wall. Consider a man we will call Marcus. He had worked the morning shift at a beach cleanup nonprofit for 3 years, steady hours, meaningful work. He kept his van registered and held a gym membership for the daily shower before each shift. He looked stable because he was stable. Then, his landlord converted the unit to a short-term vacation rental without notice. 1 month to leave. No savings nearly deep enough for first, last, and deposit in this market. Marcus, who had always worked, who had never once missed rent, drove to the beach one evening and realized he had nowhere legal to stop. That moment of invisible collapse is not a character flaw. It is what happens when a housing market builds for investors and not for the workers who make the city run. Part 2: The Spiral. To understand what vehicular homelessness looks like from the inside, we have to stop seeing it as a parking problem. It is a housing problem wearing the shape of a parking problem. The people sleeping in vehicles across Los Angeles are not the system's outliers. They are its predictable output, the visible cost of invisible policy failures accumulated over decades. They are not people who stop trying. They are trapped in a loop with no exit. No legal parking means constant movement. Constant movement means constant fines. A fine unpaid becomes a boot. A boot becomes a tow. A tow means the loss of the vehicle, the home, the storage, the address, any safety that came with it. Without the vehicle, there is no reliable transportation to work. Without income from work, there is no deposit. Without a deposit, there is no housing application that clears. Without an address, every application starts over from the beginning. This is not a metaphor. This is the documented spiral that safe parking programs are designed specifically to interrupt, and the reason that without intervention, people do not simply find their way out. In 2024, LA County expanded its non-conforming vehicle ordinance, prohibiting RV parking on public roads at all times in several unincorporated communities, including East LA and Florence Firestone. The enforcement has been most aggressive not in the wealthy neighborhoods that generate the most service calls, but in communities of color already carrying a disproportionate share of the region's housing burden. The geographic pattern of enforcement reveals exactly whose comfort is being prioritized and who is being moved along. Consider a couple we will call the Garcias. They bought a used RV when a rent increase priced them out of their apartment, believing it was a bridge and not a destination. Parked on a residential street, neighbors filed complaints. Then their tires were slashed twice. The message was not legal. It was territorial. You do not belong here. They faced a paradox, pushed off streets by neighbors who did not want them, toward a shelter system without enough beds. In a city where every solution required an address, they could not get without the housing they were trying to reach. Safe parking breaks that first condition. It does not solve the crisis. It stops the destruction long enough for case management to begin. Part 3. Faces and the day. No one is born with a dream of sleeping in a parking lot. Not Marcus, not the Garcias, not any of the 11,000 people in this city whose vehicle has become the only home they have tonight. Consider a woman we will call Diana. She spent 12 years working in hotel hospitality on the West Side, the invisible labor that makes Los Angeles feel glamorous to visitors. Good reviews, loyal regulars, a reputation. Then the hotel downsized and her hours were cut. Within 2 months, she could not cover rent. Within 4, she was living in her car, a 2009 sedan with a cracked rear window she covers with plastic sheeting each night. She keeps her uniforms pressed, her shoes clean, her interview materials in a folder in the trunk. She applies for open positions every single week. She does not tell employers she sleeps in her car. In the morning, her routine begins before dawn. She checks the 311 complaint map on her phone. The block where she parked the night before shows a new enforcement flag. She starts the engine and moves 3 blocks over, finds a legal stretch of road, waits for the shift start, then showers at the gym she pays for monthly, a cost she guards carefully because it is the foundation of every professional presentation she makes to the world. She is performing stability she does not have. At night, before she found Safe Parking LA, the calculation was different. She would park on a quiet street and lie still, listening for sounds near the car. Twice in a single month, someone knocked once out of hostility, once asking her to leave. She moved both times without argument. The fear was not only of danger, it was of losing the car. Because without the car there is no shelter, no storage, no morning routine, no interview she can arrive to looking like someone with her life in order. Everything Diana owns fits into 2 bags in that trunk. The backpack holds her identification, her phone charger, her prescription, her folder of job applications, the paper architecture of a life she is actively fighting to reclaim. One completed form at a time. When most people see someone sleeping in a car, they see an ending. Diana is working on a beginning. That distinction is everything. Part 4. Locked doors and light. This is not a personal failure. It is a cage without a door. When Diana tries to move from her car into stable housing, she runs into barriers that do not care how hard she works or how pressed her uniform is. The first is foundational. The address. Nearly every housing application, every service enrollment, and every job offer requiring documentation asks for a permanent residential address. Diana does not have one. A P.O. box will not satisfy most landlords. A shelter address might. But LA's shelter system is significantly under capacity, and waitlists can stretch for months before a slot opens. The second barrier is financial. Even programs designed for low-income applicants require security deposits, application fees, and first month's rent that someone surviving on irregular work cannot bridge alone. Diana saves carefully, but fines accumulate, parking citations, a registration lapse, a fix-it ticket that becomes a warrant, which becomes a flag on a background check. Every dollar extracted in penalties is a dollar removed from the deposit she is trying to build. The system pulls most heavily from those who can least absorb it, and then wonders why they cannot afford to leave. But in a lot in downtown Los Angeles, something different is happening. Safe Parking LA operates out of 910 South Broadway, 4th floor, Los Angeles, CA 90015, managing sites across the San Fernando Valley, Hollywood, downtown, and West LA with on-site security, sanitation, bathrooms, and professional case management. A safe parking site is not simply a legal place to stop. It is stable ground from which rebuilding becomes possible. The numbers bear this out. Of participants who exited Safe Parking LA in 2024, 40% moved into housing or resolved their homelessness above the national average. Case managers connect participants to rental assistance, legal aid, employment support, and housing applications. Rebuilding the chain Homelessness Breaks, Shower of Hope, operates an RV safe parking lot on Crenshaw Boulevard in South LA through LA County's Pathway Home program, providing case management, meals, hygiene, and the human contact that turns a parking lot into a launch point. As one resident put it, "You are protected here." That word should be a baseline for every person in this city. From a conversation with a case manager comes a profile. From a profile, a referral. From that, the journey home. Part 5, Hope Plus Outro. In 2024, 160 Safe Parking LA participants moved into permanent housing. Not transitional, not temporary. Home. The program serves 300 annually across 11 sites, against a need of 11,000. The gap between what works and what is funded remains a choice. A man we will call Thomas entered Safe Parking in spring. By fall, he had signed a lease on a studio in the valley. He had slept in his truck for 14 months. When he received the keys, he cried not from sadness, but from release. 14 months of vigilance, of lying still, listening for sounds in the dark. The day he unlocked a door that was his own, the listening stopped. A city is not measured by its tallest buildings. It is measured by what it makes possible for those working hardest to survive within it. Los Angeles has the model, it has the land. What it lacks is the will to use them. What would it truly take to welcome a safe parking lot as a neighbor? Subscribe now and stay with us. In this moment, we offer a quiet prayer for every person experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles. May you find safety in the days ahead. May gentle hands reach out to you with kindness. May the weight you carry begin to lighten. And may a warm, stable home soon welcome you back. Thank you for staying until the very end.